What's up, everybody? Aigey here, and today we're going to be talking about competitive play. Now, what you're seeing here is my personal statistics for competitive at the moment and how I'm currently doing. I know that a lot of you have been asking me to do a video like this who have been watching my other Overwatch content lately, and you guys wanted me to touch on what are my opinions and thoughts about Overwatch competitive in general. Now, me personally, since that you see that I play a lot of Zarya at the moment, usually play her a secondary sort of bruiser type of tank, don't really go for highest amount of DPS, don't really go for highest amount of tanking, but I definitely like playing Zarya as a secondary tank to a team. I also like to play Lucio and Mercy. I like to switch between them. If I have to, I play Soldier or any of the other carry roles. But when it comes to competitive and how I did during competitive, I actually went 9-1 during placement, and I really feel that my current statistics are okay. They're not the best. I'm currently out of 35 games. I've won 24, so obviously not the best in the world. But for the time that I have spent in competitive, I feel that it was a little unfair bias towards people that are dealing more damage in games. If you are averaging 2, 3, or even 4 gold medals, and you're going to place higher than people that usually don't get those kind of medals based on what they want to do for the best of the team. Since that I was always one of the fill players, I'm not that great at any particular role, let's say, but I'm okay at most things in the game. And when it comes down to it, playing an off tank or a secondary healer or anything like that, you will get graded significantly lower than a primary DPS or a primary healer, because they are constantly doing one specific thing that will allow them to get the most medals in a specific area, and you're always in your placement graded on your personal performance. Your win-loss has less of a pull on your placements than anything, which I think should be a lot different than what it is now. Now, of course, if you disagree with that, go ahead and let me know in a comment below. I'd love to discuss with you guys, but how I feel is it's like this. I had a friend who went 7-3. I had a friend that went 10-0 in their placements. The 7-3 friend, he got placed at 66, and he primarily plays Soldier, Genji, DPS, or flanker classes that will probably average most DLMs in a game, most damage, and probably most objective kills, with all things considered. And then my friend who plays support, he got placed in the 50s, and he was very unhappy with it because he's like, I went 10-0 in placements and I got placed 50, so that must be really good. And come to find out, there's all these people that get placed a hell of a lot higher, but had significantly less win-loss ratio. So when it comes to placement, win-loss ratio doesn't really matter. Now, when it actually comes to playing the game, win-loss does matter, because if you do well and you win, then you'll gain a hell of a lot more. But if you do well and you lose, you'll gain significantly less. But if you do bad and you lose, you will lose a hell of a lot more. So playing competitive is super fun, and I definitely enjoy a lot of the things that are going on in there. So from there, I'd like to mention that it's not always super difficult to win a game. It's not always super easy to win a game, but depending on your personal performance, you should climb. If you are doing well, then you will climb, and sometimes it's hard to determine how well you've actually done based on the medals that you get in game. I mean, of course, if you're playing a tank role and you've got most damage, most eliminations, most objective time, what have you, then it'll definitely reflect in game, but sometimes it's a little difficult for me to actually say how well someone did based on the type of medals that they got in game. I feel as though Blizzard should take a collective of different stats from different players and factor in how well you did based on that, not necessarily primarily based on how well you did in a particular game based on the other relative players in the game. Basically, the gist of the story is that I very much appreciate ranked mode, and I love playing it. I think it's tons of fun, and it can be lots of exciting gameplay, and I've definitely seen a lot of AFKs in it, but aside from that, it's still a very fun and interesting concept to this game that I already like so much, and this just brings more entertainment to it for me personally. I know some of you have been having a lot of problems in competitive mode where people are leaving early, or they don't care about the game, and they are trolling and all this other stuff, but when it comes down to it, just keep trying and keep doing your best. It may not always work out, but you'll definitely be able to climb faster the harder you try and the more you put effort towards what you really want to do, which is of course win if you're playing comp. I definitely think that there's some changes that need to be made in comp. I definitely think that they're going to work on it, but holy goodness, I do appreciate comp mode. I think it's tons of fun, and I can't wait to see where I end this season. I know it ends pretty soon, coming up in August I believe it ends, but I'm just so curious to see where I finally make my mark in competitive mode. I climbed from 52 to 58 so far, and I'm hoping to get to 60 before the season ends. And for technically my first shooter that I'm actually taking kind of seriously, I think that I'm doing alright so far, and I hope to continue to climb. So I'll say it again, at the end of the day, I think I'm doing alright. Can't wait to see where I end up, and yeah. But if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I know in the background I've got a very interesting game going on at the moment. Let me talk about that for a minute. So basically what happens is during the game I get disconnected and I have to log back in, which I'll show on screen. You guys will definitely unfortunately. I've already seen it by now. But I get disconnected from the game, come back, and I actually get play of the game while being disconnected. So it's probably one of the funnier things that I've had happen in a game. Tons of fun. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next episode of whatever it is I decide to do. Alright, peace later, everybody.